Looking to escape the bonds of ignorance? Subscribe to the Brainiac YouTube channel below. Escapology. The art of putting yourself into a pickle, then getting out of it. Whether trapped in a maximum security prison or in an underwater straitjacket, no containment device known to mankind could hold the team we're about to show you. Okay, let's get this one out of the way. You already knew this was coming before you even clicked on this video, didn't you? Care to take a guess who it is? That's right, it's Harry Houdini. Harry Houdini is pretty much unanimously considered to be the greatest escape artist of all time. And that's because, well, he was. Houdini originally started off as a magician, or illusionist if you want to be all uppity about it, and got into escapology when he realized he was, really good at it. Now, we're sorry if this ruins magic for you, but magician escapes are usually, gasp, tricks in which the magician wasn't properly restrained to begin with, or they have a little gizmo or gadget that helps them get out. Houdini was the real deal though. So much so that when touring Europe, he bet police officers in every city that they couldn't keep him shackled and in jail. "Bet we can," said the police officers. "Nuh-uh," said Houdini. "Yes, huh," said the police officers. And so it probably went on until the police officers finally had enough of his boasting to put him in jail, only for Houdini to successfully escape. Every single time. The officers were mind-blown. And one officer from Cologne, Germany went so far as to claim that Houdini was bribing officials to pull off his escapes because he couldn't believe that Houdini could have possibly escaped any other way. Now, Houdini wasn't too happy about being slandered, so he sued the police officer. Then, to prove that he wasn't a fraud, he casually broke into the judge's burglar-proof safe. The judge probably could have put him in jail for doing that, but, well, it probably wouldn't have been a lasting sentence. Because escaping the impossible was too easy for Houdini, he decided to make his stunts more and more dangerous. Houdini's riskiest stunts included being buried alive, put in an underwater straitjacket, and even being shackled, handcuffed, and sewn up inside the belly of a whale. And he escaped them all. While Houdini is a historical escape artist legend, there lives a man among us who could give old Harry H. a run for his money. A Canadian escape artist known as the Dark Master, or the less cool-sounding Steve Santini, currently holds the title for the world's most extreme escape artist from Ripley's Believe It or Not. Old Stevie Boy can escape from a pair of handcuffs in just 7 seconds, and has pretty much done it all on the escapology circuit, escaping from medieval instruments, prisons, castle dungeons, and more. Oh, and just in case that isn't extreme enough, he's even invented his own dangerous escapes, like this one where he's pulled along by a rope towards a running chainsaw whilst locked up in a straitjacket. Now, some people escape for fun, others escape out of necessity. But that doesn't make their feats any less impressive. In 1962, a trio of prisoners escaped from the infamous prison in Alcatraz Island. Maybe. Their thrifty threesome spent 2 years digging an escape route through the prison's walls and built a raft from scratch to sail to freedom. When the authorities discovered they'd escaped, they searched the area and found parts of the raft and some of the men's belongings, but never found the men themselves. The FBI closed the case 17 years later, believing that the men had drowned. But did they really? Or did they pull off the perfect escape? The next criminal on our list is the infamous Ted Bundy. Bundy spent a lot of his life in jail, and rightly so. Unfortunately, he proved to be one slippery criminal, escaping from prison twice while awaiting trial. The first time, he declined a lawyer and served as his own attorney, which meant that he didn't have to wear handcuffs or leg shackles. Step 1 of escaping prison complete. Then he innocently went to the courthouse law library under the pretense of brushing up his lawyering before his hearing, then jumped out the second-story window and made a run for it. He got a decent way away before being caught 6 days later after stealing a car. Now that eyes were on him, his next escape wouldn't come so easy. This one involved a floor plan of the jail, a hacksaw, $500 in cash, and most importantly, Christmas break. For weeks during his imprisonment, Bundy carefully sawed a 1-foot hole into the ceiling of his cell while other prisoners were off doing prisonery things. During this time, he lost enough weight that he was able to successfully wriggle through the Subway sandwich-sized hole in the ceiling into the crawl space above, then spent a couple of weeks wriggling around up there and planning his escape route. Bundy executed his escape plan on December 30th when most guards were off for Christmas. Utilizing a move practiced by teenagers everywhere, Bundy tactically shaped a pile of books to resemble his body in bed and threw a pile of blankets over it, so that the guards would think he was asleep in his cell. Bundy was able to successfully escape the prison and even broke into the chief jailer's house to steal clothes before hitchhiking his way down to Florida. Luckily for the general public, he was caught again roughly 2 months later, marking the end of his days as an escape artist for good. Bundy wasn't the first high-profile criminal mastermind to successfully escape prison, and he definitely wasn't the last. Joaquin Archibaldo Guzman Loera, better known as El Chapo, is a Mexican drug lord who is said to have at one point matched the wealth and influence of the infamous Pablo Escobar. El Chapo revolutionized the drug trafficking game by using long-range tunnels between Mexico and the US to bring in his products. Looks like you can't teach an old dog new tricks, as back in 2015, El Chapo used a tunnel to escape from Mexico's top security prison and successfully spent a year on the run. He pulled off another escape years earlier by bribing a ton of guards and rolling out of prison in a dirty laundry basket. The bribing aspect isn't really in the spirit of escape, but hey, maybe throwing a ton of money at them is the best way to escape them. If you're watching this and wondering how you, oh loyal viewer, might stage your very own daring escape from a maximum security prison, the answer is simple. Make friends with a helicopter owner. There have been at least 43 known prison escapes using a helicopter, and an overwhelming majority of them were successful. France holds the record for most helicopter jailbreaks with a whopping 11, while the record for most helicopter escapes by an individual goes to Pascal Payet, who has escaped from prison in style 3 times. However, the golden age of helicopter prison escapes might already be coming to an end, as more prisons have begun stringing netting and cables across open prison yards to prevent this sort of thing from happening again. So, what makes a great escape artist? A level head, some preparation, a little flair for the theatrical, and maybe a helicopter if you have one.